You face each day knowing hard things are coming, but you feel unprepared for what's ahead. Every morning you wake up worried instead of ready, letting life control how you feel instead of starting strong like a warrior. I am Sun Tzu, the ancient fighter who never lost a battle because I knew victory starts in your mind before the sun comes up. What I'm about to share is the exact morning practice I used before every battle. Words that turned fear into power and confusion into clarity. The same dawn ritual that helped me win impossible fights will prepare you to face anything with a warrior's mind. But first, like this video, subscribe for more ancient wisdom, and comment below where you're watching from. Want to see which part of the world is ready to start their mornings with power. I keep the defeat scroll in my personal collection of bamboo document that records my first major military failure. Most generals burn such reminders, but I treasure this one because it taught me that mental preparation matters more than physical strength, more than superior numbers, more than perfect tactics. I was young then, perhaps too confident in my strategic mind. I had studied every formation, memorized every classic military text, and believed that battlefield brilliance alone would guarantee victory. My army was well-trained, well-equipped, and well-positioned. On paper, we should have crushed our enemies before noon, but when dawn broke that terrible day, I watched my soldiers' faces. Despite all our preparation, I saw fear creeping into their eyes. They moved with hesitation instead of confidence. Their formations were perfect, but their spirits were uncertain. I had prepared their bodies and their tactics, but I had neglected their minds. The battle was a disaster, not because we lacked skill or strategy, but because doubt had poisoned our ranks before the first arrow was fired. I watched good men fall not to superior enemies, but to their own mental defeat. They fought with worry instead of conviction, with fear instead of purpose. That night, as I sat among the wounded and surveyed our losses, I realized a fundamental truth that would reshape everything I thought I knew about warfare. The battle is won or lost in the mind before armies ever meet on the field. Physical preparation means nothing if the spirit is weak. Perfect tactics crumble under the weight of mental uncertainty. I spent the following months in deep reflection, studying not just military strategy, but the nature of the human mind itself. I observed how thoughts shape actions, how morning mental states determine daily performance, how the right words at the right time can transform cowardice into courage. This led me to discover the power of dawn, that precious time when the mind is most receptive to programming, when silence creates space for inner strength to grow, when the right practice can set the foundation for victory before the world even wakes up. The defeat that nearly ended my career became the beginning of my greatest discovery. I learned that every battle, whether on ancient fields or in modern offices, starts with the same question: what state of mind will you carry into the fight? From that failure, I developed what would become my secret weapon, not a new formation or innovative tactic, but a dawn ritual that transformed fear into power and confusion into clarity. This practice didn't just change how I fought, it changed who I became. The bronze sundial I carried into every campaign taught me something profound about time itself. Most people think all hours are equal, but they are gravely mistaken. Dawn possesses a unique power that no other time can match: the power to program your mind when it's most receptive to transformation. I discovered this truth through careful observation. In those precious moments before sunrise, when the world holds its breath between night and day, the human mind exists in a state unlike any other. The noise of daily concerns hasn't yet invaded your thoughts. The demands and pressures that will flood your day still sleep in the darkness. In this silence, your mind becomes like fresh clay, ready to be shaped by intention rather than circumstance. Watch a warrior at dawn versus that same warrior at midday. At sunrise, his thoughts are clear, his purpose focused, his spirit uncluttered by the day's accumulated stress. By afternoon, his mind carries the weight of 100 small defeats, minor irritations, and scattered concerns. The same person, but operating from completely different mental foundations. This is why I made dawn my sacred time. Not because I was particularly disciplined, but because I recognized that dawn offered an opportunity that would never come again that day. In those quiet moments, I could speak directly to my warrior spirit without competition from external noise. The morning mind works differently than the evening mind. At dawn, your mental defenses are lowered not in weakness, but in openness. The cynicism that builds throughout the day hasn't yet hardened your thinking. The doubt that accumulates from daily challenges hasn't yet clouded your vision. You stand at the threshold between the possible and the actual, perfectly positioned to choose which direction your day will take. I learned to use this receptive state deliberately. The words I spoke at dawn carried more power than the same words spoken at any other time. Commands given to my own spirit in that pre-sunrise quiet penetrated deeper than any amount of afternoon self-talk or evening reflection. Modern warriors face the same truth, though their battles occur in boardrooms instead of on fields. The executive who starts his morning reactive checking messages, responding to overnight crises, letting the urgent determine his mental state, has already surrendered the day's most powerful moment. But the leader who claims those dawn minutes for intentional preparation enters every challenge from a position of inner strength. This is not mysticism. This is practical psychology. Dawn silence creates space for inner strength to emerge. When you speak to your warrior spirit before the world demands your attention, you program yourself for victory before the battle even begins. The jade tablet I carry bears the exact words I spoke every dawn before battle. These are not pretty poems or inspiring quotes. They are precise tools for transforming fear into power, confusion into clarity. I share them now because their power transcends time and circumstance. I am the master of this moment. Fear may visit, but it cannot stay. Today I move with purpose, not emotion. My mind is sharp, my spirit calm, my actions decisive. I see clearly what must be done, and I do it without hesitation. This day belongs to me. Simple words, you might think, but their simplicity is their strength. When fear grips your mind, complex philosophy fails. When doubt clouds your judgment, elaborate mantras crumble. But clear, direct declarations cut through mental noise like a sword through silk. I discovered that specific language the warrior mind at dawn. Not vague hopes or general wishes, but precise commands to your own spirit. I will try to be confident carries no power. I am confident rewrites your mental programming. The difference between wishing and declaring is the difference between defeat and victory. Watch how language shapes reality. When my soldiers said, "I hope we win," they had already planted seeds of doubt. When they declared we cannot be defeated, their posture changed. Their movements became more decisive. Their very presence on the battlefield shifted. The enemy could sense the difference before the first blow was struck. The morning brain responds to authority, and the only authority it truly respects is your own clear intention. When you speak with conviction to your warrior spirit at dawn, you establish the mental hierarchy that will govern your entire day. You become the commander of your own inner army instead of a victim of circumstance. These words must be spoken aloud, not just thought silently. There is power in hearing your own voice declare your strength. Your ears carry the message back to your mind with an authority that silent thoughts cannot match. Your voice becomes the external confirmation of your internal truth. I choose my response to every situation. Others may react, but I respond. Pressure reveals my strength, not my weakness. I am calm in the storm, focused in chaos, powerful in uncertainty. Today I demonstrate who I truly am. The rhythm matters as much as the words. Speak slowly, deliberately, letting each phrase settle into your mind before moving to the next. These are not casual statements, but formal declarations of war against doubt, uncertainty, and fear. Modern warriors need these weapons more than ever. When you wake to a phone full of problems, emails demanding immediate response, and a day packed with pressure, these words become your armor. They create a foundation of inner strength that external circumstances cannot shake. The silk scroll I call my mental map shows the geography of the mind, with fortresses representing the strongholds built through daily dawn practice. Like any fortress, inner strength requires deliberate construction, stone by stone, day by day, until nothing can breach your mental walls. I learned this truth during my longest campaign, a 3-year siege, where physical walls meant little compared to the fortress of the mind. Soldiers with weak mental defenses crumbled under pressure, despite being protected by stone and iron. But warriors with strong inner fortifications stood firm even when outer walls were breached. Your dawn ritual constructs these inner defenses. Each morning declaration adds another layer of protection against doubt, fear, and external pressure. Each day you speak strength to your spirit. You reinforce the walls that will protect you when challenges come. Think of mental fortification like physical training. One day of exercise doesn't create fitness, but months of consistent practice transform your body completely. Similarly, one morning of powerful declarations won't remake your mind, but weeks of dawn ritual will fundamentally change how you respond to pressure. I watched this transformation in my own soldiers. Those who embraced morning mental preparation became unshakable in battle, not because they felt no fear. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but because they had built mental structures strong enough to contain that fear without being controlled by it. The fortress metaphor is precise, not poetic. Your mind truly does have defensive walls, gates that can be secured or left open, weak points that enemies will attack, and strongholds where your deepest strength resides. Dawn practice identifies these mental landmarks and fortifies them systematically. My mind is a fortress. Negative thoughts may approach, but they cannot enter without permission. I control the gates of my attention. I choose which voices to hear, which concerns to entertain, which fears to face or dismiss. This fortress is mine, and I defend it well. Each repetition of these words strengthens your mental architecture. Like masons laying stones, you're building something that will last. The executive facing a hostile board meeting draws strength from months of dawn declarations. The entrepreneur launching a risky venture relies on mental walls, built through consistent morning practice. Your inner fortress protects more than just your confidence it guards. Your decision-making ability, your emotional stability, your capacity to think clearly under pressure. When external storms rage, you remain secure within walls that cannot be shaken. This isn't positive thinking, it's mental engineering. You're constructing psychological infrastructure that serves you when strength matters most. Every dawn ritual adds another layer of protection, another degree of resilience, another measure of unshakable inner power. The silence bell, forged from metal taken from my first victory, taught me that strategic advantage often comes from what you don't do rather than what you do. In a world obsessed with action, I discovered that morning silence provides the foundation for all effective action. Most people fear silence. They wake and immediately fill their minds with noise, messages, news, other people's urgent demands. They mistake this busyness for productivity, this reactivity for readiness. But silence is not emptiness, it's preparation. It's the space where clarity emerges and wisdom speaks. I made silence my secret weapon. While my enemies began each day in chaos, responding to whatever grabbed their attention first, I claimed the dawn quiet for strategic thinking. In those moments of stillness, I could see the battlefield clearly, not just the physical terrain, but the mental and emotional, the landscape that would determine victory. Silence reveals what noise conceals. When your mind isn't cluttered with external demands, you can hear your inner strategist speaking. You can sense which challenges truly matter and which are merely distractions. You can feel the difference between urgent and important, between someone else's crisis and your own priorities. In the silence, I find my strength. I need no external validation to know my worth. I require no constant stimulation to feel alive. I am complete in this moment, powerful in this pause, wise in this quiet. From silence comes clarity. From clarity comes right action. This principle transforms how you engage with the world. Instead of beginning each day reactive checking what happened overnight, responding to other people's agendas, you start from a place of centered power. You move with intention rather than mere motion. The modern world conspires against this silence. Every device demands attention. Every platform promises urgent updates. Every notification claims immediate importance. But the warrior who protects his morning silence gains an unassailable advantage over those who surrender their mental peace to digital chaos. I practiced what I call strategic silence, not meditation or relaxation, but purposeful quiet that serves preparation. In this silence, I reviewed my goals, anticipated challenges, visualized successful outcomes. I used the quiet to program my mind for victory before the day's battles began. Your phone can wait. The news will still exist after your dawn ritual. Other people's emergencies rarely require your immediate response, but the opportunity to claim your mental territory, to establish your inner authority, to prepare your warrior spirit, this opportunity comes only once each day, and only if you choose to take it. Silence is not weakness, it's strategic positioning. It's choosing when and how to engage rather than letting circumstances dictate your responses. The victory mirror, polished bronze that reflected not just my face but my future triumphs, became my tool for seeing success before it manifested. I learned that the mind cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experience and actual memory, a discovery that gave me tremendous power over outcomes. Every morning before battle, I would see myself moving with perfect confidence, making decisive choices, leading with unshakable authority, not hoping these things would happen, but experiencing them as if they had already occurred. This wasn't fantasy. It was programming my mind for the reality I intended to create. Visualization works because your brain treats detailed mental rehearsal as actual practice. When I repeatedly saw myself remaining calm under pressure, my nervous system learned to respond with calm when pressure actually arrived. When I imagined myself making brilliant tactical decisions, my mind was already prepared with patterns of brilliant thinking. The key is specificity. Vague dreams of doing well carry no power, but detailed mental rehearsal of exact situations, precise responses, specific moments of triumph. This creates neural pathways that serve you when reality matches your preparation. I see myself entering each challenge with confidence and leaving with victory. I move with purpose, speak with authority, decide with wisdom. Others look to me for leadership because I embody the strength they seek. I am exactly who I need to be in every moment that matters. I would visualize not just the outcome, but the process. How I would stand when receiving difficult news, the tone of voice I would use when giving commands, the expression on my face when others looked to me for guidance. Every detail mattered because every detail was programming my automatic responses. This practice served me in ways beyond battlefield success. In negotiations, I had already experienced myself speaking with authority because I had rehearsed it hundreds of times each morning. In crisis situations, I had already seen myself remaining calm because my mind held countless memories of calm, responses even, though those memories were created through visualization rather than actual events. Modern warriors need this tool more than ever. The executive preparing for a crucial presentation can experience success hundreds of times before entering the boardroom. The entrepreneur launching a new venture can rehearse confident responses to every possible challenge. Your mind will serve you the patterns you feed it. If you begin each day imagining problems, obstacles, and difficulties, your mind will prime you to find exactly those things. But if you consistently visualize strength, success, and skillful responses, your mind will guide you toward those outcomes instead. Victory begins in your imagination before it appears in your reality. The iron chain, 49 links representing the 7 weeks it takes to forge an unbreakable habit, reminds me that consistency creates power that talent alone cannot match. I discovered that discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence in the face of imperfection. Too many warriors approach mental preparation like a desperate sprint rather than a steady march. They practice intensely for a few days, expect immediate transformation, then abandon the effort when results don't come quickly enough. But true power builds gradually, link by link, day by day, through commitment that outlasts motivation. I made my dawn ritual non-negotiable, not because I always felt like doing it, but because I understood that feelings follow actions, not the other way around. On days when I woke tired, discouraged, or distracted, I performed the ritual anyway. These difficult days often proved most valuable because they built the mental muscle that would serve me when strength mattered most. The discipline itself becomes a source of power. When you know you can count on yourself to keep commitments to yourself, you develop an unshakable foundation of self-trust. When you prove daily that you can do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, you build confidence that external circumstances cannot touch. I keep my word to myself before I keep my word to others. I honor my commitments to my own growth before I serve anyone else's agenda. I am reliable to my warrior spirit before I am reliable to the world. This consistency is my strength. This discipline is my freedom. Most people reverse this priority. They'll move mountains to avoid disappointing others but easily break promises to themselves. They'll work late to meet external deadlines but skip the morning practice that serves their own development. This backwards approach undermines the very foundation from which all other strength flows. Your dawn ritual doesn't require perfect conditions. I practiced in rain and shine, in peace and chaos, when camped in comfort and when sleeping on hard ground. The external circumstances matter less than the internal commitment. When you make your mental preparation independent of perfect conditions, you make it indestructible. 40-9 days of consistent practice creates what I call the warrior's foundation, a bedrock of mental strength that supports everything else you build. Not because 49 is a magic number, but because 7 weeks of daily commitment proves to yourself that you are someone who keeps important promises. The chain is only as strong as its weakest link, but an unbroken chain can anchor anything. The pressure stone, a small granite piece I carried into every battle, taught me that external force can either crush you or create diamonds. The difference lies not in the pressure itself, but in how you prepare to receive it. Most people treat pressure as their enemy. They avoid it, resist it, complain about it, let it trigger stress responses that cloud their judgment and weaken their performance. But I learned to see pressure differently, as a tool for revealing and developing strength that cannot emerge any other way. My dawn ritual included specific preparation for handling pressure, not by hoping to avoid it, but by programming my mind to transform it into fuel for higher performance. I would speak directly to my warrior spirit about pressure, teaching it to respond with excitement rather than anxiety when challenges intensified. Pressure reveals my true strength. Others may crumble under weight, but I become more solid. Others may panic when stakes rise, but I become more focused. Others may doubt themselves when tested, but I prove who I really am. I welcome pressure because I know it will showcase my power. This mental programming created a fundamental shift in how I experienced high-stakes situations. Instead of my heart racing with anxiety, it would race with anticipation. Instead of my mind clouding with worry, it would sharpen with focus. Instead of my body tensing with resistance, it would prepare with readiness. The transformation is not immediate. It requires consistent dawn practice to override years of conditioning that treats pressure as threat rather than opportunity. But, once established, this new pattern serves you in ways that extend far beyond the original pressure situation. I watched weak leaders become paralyzed when stakes increased. Decision-making slowed, communication became unclear, confidence evaporated, exactly when it was needed most. But leaders who had trained their minds to welcome pressure became more decisive, more articulate, more confident as challenges intensified. Modern warfare occurs in boardrooms, negotiations, presentations, and crucial conversations where pressure determines performance. The executive who has programmed his mind to transform pressure into power holds an enormous advantage over competitors who still see pressure as something to endure rather than to harness. Your daily declaration must specifically address pressure, not by denying its existence or minimizing its impact, but by redefining its meaning. Pressure becomes proof that something important is happening. Stakes become evidence that your actions matter. Intensity becomes the signal that you're operating, where real achievement occurs. The diamond and the coalface identical only. Their preparation determines which one emerges. The positioning compass, crafted with magnetized iron that always pointed toward advantage, taught me that your mental stance determines your options more than your circumstances do. Just as physical positioning on a battlefield creates tactical advantages, mental positioning creates strategic opportunities. Most people position themselves mentally as victims of circumstance, responders to external forces, subjects of other people's decisions. They wake each morning wondering what will happen to them rather than what they will make happen. This defensive mental positioning guarantees reactive living and limits possibilities before the day even begins. I learned to position myself mentally as the author of outcomes, the creator of circumstances, the one who shapes situations rather than being shaped by them. This wasn't arrogance or delusion, it was strategic thinking applied to mindset. Even when I couldn't control external events, I could always control my response, and my response would influence what happened next. I am positioned for victory in every situation. Where others see problems, I see opportunities for demonstration of strength. Where others see obstacles, I see chances to prove my capabilities. Where others see uncertainty, I see space to create the outcomes I desire. My position is always one of power because I choose my stance before I choose my actions. Mental positioning affects everything: how you enter rooms, how you begin conversations, how you approach challenges, how you interpret setbacks. The warrior who positions himself mentally as someone who belongs in important spaces will move differently than someone who positions himself as an outsider hoping for inclusion. This positioning must be established at dawn, before the days, events begin to shape your mental stance. Once you're reacting to circumstances, it becomes much harder to maintain your chosen position. But when you deliberately establish your mental ground before battle begins, external events become variations on your theme rather than controllers of your experience. I practiced specific positioning statements that programmed my mind for advantage. I belong in rooms where important decisions are made. I have valuable contributions to offer in every situation. People benefit from my presence and perspective. I add value wherever I go. My involvement improves outcomes. The positioning compass taught me to find my advantage, regardless of terrain. Sometimes advantage came from strength, sometimes from flexibility, sometimes from patience, sometimes from boldness. But there was always an advantageous position available to those who looked for it strategically, rather than hoping for it emotionally. Modern battles require sophisticated mental positioning. You must see yourself as someone who creates value, solves problems, contributes meaningfully, and deserves to participate in important conversations. This positioning becomes self-fulfilling as others respond to the energy and confidence you project. The command baton, carved from wood of the first tree I climbed as a child, symbolized the leadership that matters most, commanding the diverse voices within your own mind. I discovered that external leadership becomes effortless once you master the art of leading your inner army. Your mind contains multitudes voices of doubt and confidence, fear and courage, past failures and future possibilities, criticism and encouragement. Most people let these voices war against each other in chaotic, internal conflict, but the true warrior establishes clear command structure within his own consciousness. During my dawn ritual, I would speak with authority to every aspect of my inner army. I would command doubt to serve intelligence rather than paralysis. I would order fear to provide caution without creating cowardice. I would direct past failures to offer wisdom without breeding shame. I would assign future visions to inspire action rather than create fantasy. I am the general of my own mind. Every thought serves my purpose or finds no welcome here. Doubt may speak when invited to provide useful analysis, but it has no authority to make decisions. Fear may warn of legitimate dangers, but it cannot prevent necessary action. Past mistakes may offer lessons, but they cannot define my future capabilities. This internal command structure changes everything about how you function. Instead of being pulled in multiple directions by competing inner voices, you operate from clear mental hierarchy. Your warrior spirit gives orders that all other aspects of your consciousness follow. You become unified in purpose rather than divided in confusion. I learned to treat my mind like a military unit requiring strong leadership. Discipline was maintained through daily communication, clear expectations, and consistent enforcement of mental standards. Just as external soldiers perform better under confident leadership, your inner army responds to confident self-command. The commands must be specific and authoritative. I should probably be more confident carries no weight. I am confident because I have prepared well and trust my capabilities establishes clear internal authority. Your inner army responds to decisive leadership, not tentative suggestions. Most people abdicate command of their own minds, letting random thoughts, external influences, and emotional reactions determine their mental state. But when you claim your role as commander of your consciousness, you gain power that extends far beyond your private thoughts. Others sense when someone has established internal command. They feel the presence of unified purpose, the strength of coherent identity, the power of minds that operate under clear leadership rather than chaotic democracy. Your first and most important leadership role is commanding yourself. The identity seal, stamped with symbols representing who I chose to become rather than who circumstances suggested I was, taught me that you become what you consistently declare yourself to be. Identity is not discovered, is decided, declared, and demonstrated through daily choice. Most people let their identity emerge from their circumstances, their history, their limitations, or other people's opinions. They see themselves as products of their past, rather than authors of their future. But the warrior understands that identity is a choice made fresh each morning through deliberate declaration. I began each dawn by declaring who I was choosing to be that day, not who I hoped to become someday, not who I might be under perfect conditions, but who I was actively choosing to embody in the present moment. This declaration created a target for all my thoughts, words, and actions to aim toward. I am a leader who inspires confidence in others. I am a strategist who sees opportunities where others see obstacles. I am a warrior who remains calm under pressure. I am a decision maker who acts with wisdom and courage. I am someone people can depend on when situations become difficult. These declarations weren't based on past evidence or current feelings. They were choices about present identity. When you declare who you are, you give your mind clear instructions about how to operate. Your thoughts, words, and actions begin aligning with your declared identity rather than your historical patterns. The power lies in consistency. One morning of declaring strength doesn't transform you, but months of daily identity declaration literally rewires your brain. You begin thinking like the person you've declared yourself to be. You begin speaking like that person. You begin acting like that person. Eventually, you become that person. I watched this transformation in my own soldiers. Those who declared themselves warriors began carrying themselves differently, speaking with more authority, responding to challenges with more confidence. Their declared identity became their lived reality through the accumulation of aligned choices. Modern professionals need this tool desperately. Instead of letting job titles, past failures, or current limitations define them, they can choose their identity through daily declaration. The accountant who declares himself a strategic advisor begins finding opportunities to provide strategic value. The manager who declares herself a leader begins naturally inspiring others. Your identity declaration must be present tense and specific. I am someone who ... creates more power than I want to be someone who ... or someday I will be someone who. Present tense declaration activates immediate change rather than perpetual postponement. You become what you consistently declare yourself to be. The word blade, a ceremonial knife inscribed with phrases that cut through doubt and carved clarity into confusion, taught me that language is the most powerful weapon a warrior possesses. The words you speak to yourself at dawn become the weapons you carry into every battle throughout the day. Most people underestimate the power of their own words. They speak carelessly to themselves, using language that weakens rather than strengthens, that plants doubt rather than builds confidence, that programs failure rather than success. But I learned to treat every word as a deliberate choice with strategic consequences. Your dawn words must be chosen like a general chooses weapons, carefully, purposefully, with clear understanding of their intended effect. Casual language produces casual results. Powerful language produces powerful outcomes. The words you use to describe yourself, your capabilities, and your future determine the reality you create. My words are weapons of creation. I speak strength into existence. I declare victory before battle begins. I use language to build rather than tear down, to empower rather than diminish, to program success rather than accept limitation. Every word I speak to myself is chosen for its power to serve my purpose. I developed specific word weapons for different types of battles. For confidence, I am fully capable of handling whatever comes. For clarity, I see the path forward clearly and follow it decisively. For courage, I move through fear without being controlled by it. For persistence, I continue forward when others quit. The key is precision. Vague words like good or fine carry no power, but specific words like unstoppable, brilliant, decisive, magnetic, commanding create precise internal programming. Your mind responds to the exact words you feed it. Word weapons must be forged through repetition. Speaking powerful words once creates a moment of strength. Speaking them daily for weeks creates permanent mental patterns. Speaking them for months creates unshakable identity. Speaking them for years creates legendary personal power. I watched weak warriors become formidable through nothing more than changing their dawn language. Instead of waking and saying, "I hope today goes well," they learned to declare, "I will make today go well." Instead of, "I'll try to be confident," they programmed, "I am confident because I am prepared." Modern warriors face internal battles that require sophisticated word weapons. The language you use about your work, your relationships, your goals, your challenges, all of it programs your subconscious mind for either success or failure. Your words at dawn become your reality by evening. Choose them like your victory depends on it, because it does. The confidence stone, worn smooth by my thumb during thousands of dawn rituals, became the physical anchor for unshakable inner certainty. I discovered that true confidence is not the absence of doubt, it is the presence of preparation that makes doubt irrelevant. Most people confuse confidence with feelings. They wait to feel confident before taking important action, not understanding that confidence is a skill that must be practiced daily. They think confident people never experience doubt, when actually confident people have simply learned to act decisively despite doubt's presence. My confidence ritual began with physical posture. I would stand tall, shoulders back, breathing deep and steady. Your body teaches your mind, and confident posture creates confident thinking. I would hold the confidence stone, feeling its weight as a reminder of the substantial preparation behind my certainty. I am confident because I am prepared. I am certain because I have done the work. I trust myself because I have proven my reliability through consistent action. My confidence is not hope, it is the natural result of thorough preparation meeting clear purpose. Confidence must be built systematically, like constructing a building. The foundation is competence, knowing you have the skills necessary for success. The walls are experience, remembering times you have succeeded before. The roof is preparation, understanding you have thought through possibilities and readied yourself for action. But true confidence transcends even preparation. It becomes a way of being that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. This unshakable confidence comes from knowing that whatever happens, you will find a way to handle it. Not because you can predict the future, but because you trust your ability to respond effectively to whatever the future brings. I learned to separate confidence from outcomes. Outcome-dependent confidence crumbles when results don't match expectations, but possess confidence in your ability to prepare well, think clearly, and respond skillfully remains strong regardless of external results. I am confident in my ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. I trust my capacity to find solutions when problems arise. I know I will respond with wisdom when situations become complex. I believe in my power to create value regardless of circumstances. This confidence ritual must address the specific situations you will face. Generic confidence declarations lack power. But when you specifically program confidence for presentations, negotiations, difficult conversations, or high-pressure decisions, your mind develops targeted certainty that serves you precisely when needed. The confidence stone reminded me that certainty is a choice available in every moment. External events may surprise you, but your confident response can be prepared in advance. When you know how you will stand, speak, and think regardless of what happens, you carry unshakable confidence into every situation. True confidence makes others confident in you as well. The victory code, etched in bronze symbols that represented triumph achieved through mental preparation rather than chance, taught me that winners program their minds for success, while others hope for lucky breaks. Victory is not something that happens to you, it is something you create through deliberate mental programming that begins before dawn and continues throughout each day, every morning. I would program my mind with specific victory scenarios, not vague wishes for things to go well, but detailed mental rehearsals of successful outcomes in precise situations. I would see myself making brilliant decisions under pressure, communicating with clarity and authority, responding to setbacks with resilience and wisdom. These were not daydreams, but systematic preparation for the realities I would face. I learned to program victory in layers, like building a fortress of successful outcomes. The first layer addressed immediate challenges, meetings, conversations, and decisions that would occur that very day. I would visualize myself entering each situation with confidence, speaking with authority, thinking with clarity, and achieving the outcomes I desired. The second layer programmed medium-term victories, the projects, campaigns, and longer challenges that would unfold over weeks or months. I would see myself persisting through difficulties, learning from setbacks, adapting strategies when necessary, and ultimately achieving objectives that others considered impossible. The third layer addressed lifetime victories, the kind of leader I was becoming, the legacy I was building, the impact my life would have on others. This deepest programming created a foundation of purpose that sustained me through individual defeats and temporary setbacks. I program my mind for victory at every level of challenge I will face. I see myself succeeding in today's battles and tomorrow's campaigns alike. I experience triumph in my thoughts before triumph appears in my reality. I am mentally rehearsed for every challenge, prepared for every opportunity, ready for every moment when performance matters most. This programming worked because your mind seeks to create reality that matches your dominant mental patterns. If you consistently imagine struggle, failure, and difficulty, your mind will guide you toward actions that create those outcomes. But if you systematically program images of success, skillful performance, and positive results, your mind works tirelessly to make those visions reality. The key is specificity combined with emotional intensity. Vague hopes carry no programming power, but when you vividly imagine specific successful outcomes, feeling the emotions of achievement, experiencing the satisfaction of skillful performance, your mind creates neural pathways that serve you when real situations arise. I would program victory in negotiations by seeing myself speaking with calm authority, listening with genuine interest, finding creative solutions that served everyone's needs, and leaving all parties satisfied with outcomes. I could feel the handshake that sealed successful agreements, hear the tone of voice that conveyed mutual respect, see the expressions on faces that reflected genuine satisfaction. I would program victory in battle by visualizing clear thinking, under intense pressure, inspiring my troops with confident leadership that made them believe in impossible victories, making tactical decisions that led to overwhelming success even when facing superior numbers. I could feel the weight of responsibility, transformed into fuel for brilliant performance. I would program victory in personal development by seeing myself growing stronger, wiser, and more capable with each challenge I faced. I visualized learning from every experience, extracting valuable lessons from both successes and failures, becoming the kind of leader others naturally wanted to follow. This practice extends far beyond positive thinking or wishful hoping. You are literally programming your unconscious mind with success patterns that will guide your automatic responses when conscious thinking becomes difficult or impossible. Under extreme pressure, you will default to your most practiced mental patterns. You must ensure those patterns serve victory rather than defeat. The programming must be refreshed and updated regularly. As you achieve certain victories, you program new ones. As you master particular challenges, you prepare for greater ones. The victory code evolves with your growth, always staying slightly ahead of your current capabilities, pulling you toward higher levels of performance. I discovered that programmed victories often manifested in unexpected ways. Sometimes the specific, scenario I had visualized occurred exactly as planned. But more often, the programming created a mindset and approach that attracted opportunities I hadn't anticipated. The mental preparation for success made me more likely to recognize and seize chances that others missed. Modern warriors need this programming more than ancient ones did, because today's battles come with less warning, require faster decisions, and offer fewer opportunities to consciously strategize in the moment. Your dawn programming becomes the foundation for split-second excellence. When stakes are highest and thinking time is shortest, the victory code reminds you that champions are made in practice, not just in performance. The victory you achieve in public was first achieved in private, in the quiet moments when you programmed your mind for exactly the success you later demonstrated to the world. Every visible triumph was preceded by invisible preparation. Your programming creates momentum that builds on itself. Each programmed victory that becomes reality increases your confidence in the process, making future programming more powerful and effective. Success breeds success, and programming breeds programming, creating an upward spiral of achievement that compounds over time. Program victory deliberately and specifically, and victory will follow naturally and inevitably. The modern bridge, a piece of iron that connected ancient wisdom to contemporary application, taught me that timeless principles adapt to any era while maintaining their essential power. The challenges change, technologies evolve, societies transform, but the human mind responds to the same fundamental preparation, whether facing ancient armies or modern boardrooms. Today's warriors fight different battles than I did, but they require identical mental preparation. The executive entering a hostile board meeting needs the same inner fortress I built for physical combat. The entrepreneur launching a risky venture requires the same confidence programming I used before uncertain campaigns. The leader managing a crisis demands the same clarity I developed through dawn ritual. The parent handling difficult family situations needs the same emotional stability I cultivated for warfare. Your modern dawn practice must address contemporary challenges while utilizing ancient principles. Instead of preparing for physical warfare, you prepare for competitive markets, difficult conversations, high-pressure presentations, complex decisions, and relationship challenges. But the mental programming remains remarkably similar across all these different arenas. I am a modern warrior using ancient wisdom. The battles may be different, but the mind that fights them requires the same preparation. I build inner strength that serves in boardrooms and living rooms alike. I develop clarity that works in negotiations and relationships equally. I create confidence that functions in every arena where performance matters. The beauty of these principles lies in their universality. Mental fortification serves you whether you're facing angry customers or disappointed family members. Confidence programming helps with job interviews and social situations equally. Pressure transformation works for deadlines and difficult conversations alike. The foundation remains constant, while the applications multiply endlessly. I observe modern warriors making the same mistakes I made early in my career, focusing on external preparation while neglecting internal programming. They master technical skills but ignore mental preparation. They optimize their strategies but leave their mindset to chance. They prepare their presentations but not their presenter. They plan their tactics but not their inner state. Consider the modern executive who spends hours perfecting slides for an important presentation but gives no thought to programming confidence, clarity, and calm authority. He has prepared his material but not his mind. When unexpected questions arise or technical difficulties occur, his unprepared mental state becomes his greatest vulnerability. Compare this to the executive who spends equal time on dawn mental preparation. She programs herself to remain calm under pressure, to think clearly when challenged, to communicate with authority regardless of circumstances. When unexpected situations arise, her prepared mind becomes her greatest asset. The ancient practice adapts seamlessly to modern life. Your smartphone becomes your bronze horn, signaling the start of mental preparation instead of immediately flooding your mind with other people's priorities. Your bedroom becomes your inner sanctum where you build psychological fortifications. Instead of starting each day reactive to external demands, your morning routine becomes your ritual for programming victory before the day's battles begin. The coffee that once merely woke your body now accompanies the words that awaken your warrior spirit. The quiet moments before others in your household wake become your private training ground for mental excellence. The specific words change to address contemporary challenges, but the underlying pattern remains identical. You still claim your mental territory at dawn. You still speak strength into your spirit. You still program your mind for victory before circumstances test your preparation. You still build inner fortresses that protect your peace and power throughout the day. Modern challenges actually require more sophisticated mental preparation than ancient ones did. Today's battles come with less warning and require faster responses. You cannot pause mid-presentation to build confidence or stop during negotiations to find clarity. You cannot take a time out during difficult family conversations to program patience and wisdom. The parent dealing with a teenager's rebellion needs the same mental preparation I used for enemy armies. The entrepreneur facing potential bankruptcy requires the same inner strength I developed for life-threatening battles. The leader managing organizational crisis demands the same clarity I cultivated for complex military campaigns. Your dawn preparation becomes your only guarantee of peak performance when performance matters most. In ancient times, battles had clear beginnings and endings. Modern warfare is continuous. Every interaction is a potential battle. Every conversation a possible victory or defeat. Every decision a moment when your preparation either serves you or fails you. The modern warrior who masters dawn mental preparation gains enormous advantage over competitors who leave their mindset to chance. While others start each day reactive, you begin proactive. While others let circumstances determine their mental state, you choose your inner condition regardless of external events. This is ancient wisdom applied to modern challenges, timeless principles serving contemporary needs, eternal truths creating current victories. The bridge between past and present is built from the unchanging foundation of human nature. We all require mental preparation to perform at our highest level. When stakes matter most, ancient wisdom, modern application, timeless results, the personal scroll, blank parchment waiting for your unique warrior declaration, represents the final step in claiming your mental territory. Everything I have shared leads to this moment when you craft the specific words that will transform your mornings and through them, transform your life. This is where ancient wisdom becomes personal power. Your dawn declaration must be personally yours. You cannot simply repeat my words and expect them to carry the same power. They must emerge from your battles, address your challenges, and speak to your warrior spirit in language that resonates with your deepest truth. Generic inspiration creates generic results, but personal declaration creates personal transformation that cuts to the core of who you're becoming. Begin with your identity, foundation upon which everything else builds. Who are you choosing to be? Not who you have been or who others expect you to be, but who you are deciding to become through conscious choice. I am someone who, ... and complete that sentence with precision and power. This is not describing your current reality, but declaring your chosen identity. Consider the different roles you play and the challenges each brings. Are you a leader who must inspire confidence in uncertain times? I am a leader who remains calm in chaos and provides clarity when others are confused. Are you an entrepreneur who must persist through setbacks? I am an entrepreneur who transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into setups for greater success. Add your capabilities, the strengths and skills that qualify you for the battles you face. What have you learned through experience? What abilities have you developed through practice? What knowledge have you gained through study and observation? I am capable of ... and declare your competence with confidence and clarity. Your capabilities. Declaration must be specific to your actual strengths. The salesperson might declare, I am capable of connecting with any personality type, understanding their true needs, and presenting solutions that genuinely serve their interests. The manager might say, I am capable of seeing the big picture while managing crucial details, inspiring my team while achieving organizational goals. Include your responses to pressure perhaps, the most crucial element of your declaration. How will you handle stress, uncertainty, setbacks, and high-stakes situations? When pressure comes, and program your automatic responses to serve strength rather than surrender to weakness. Pressure response programming must address your specific vulnerabilities. If you tend to become scattered under stress, declare, when pressure comes, I become more focused, not less. I prioritize clearly and execute systematically. If you typically doubt yourself in high-stakes moments, program, when pressure comes, I trust my preparation and act with confidence. Address your daily battles specifically. What situations will test you today? What conversations require courage? What decisions demand wisdom? What relationships need your best self? In every situation, and prepare your mind for the specific challenges you will actually face. Your daily battle preparation should cover the full spectrum of your life. Professional challenges. In every business situation, I contribute value, solve problems, and build relationships that serve everyone involved. Personal relationships. In every personal interaction, I listen with genuine interest, speak with kindness and honesty, and respond with wisdom rather than mere emotion. End with your commitment to excellence, the standards that will guide your choices and the values that will determine your legacy. What quality of person will you be? What impact will your presence have on others? What legacy will your actions create? I commit to, and seal your declaration with personal honor. Your commitment must reflect your highest aspirations while remaining grounded in reality. I commit to excellence in all my endeavors, integrity in all my dealings, and kindness in all my relationships. I commit to growing stronger through every challenge, wiser through every experience, and more valuable to others through every interaction. Here is a complete example that demonstrates the structure. I am a warrior who faces each day with prepared strength and purposeful action. I am capable of handling whatever challenges arise with wisdom, skill, and calm determination. When pressure comes, I transform it into power and focus, using intensity to sharpen my thinking rather than cloud my judgment. In every situation, I respond with my best self, contributing value and demonstrating the character I choose to embody. I commit to excellence in all my actions, integrity in all my words, and continuous growth in all areas of my life. Speak these words aloud each morning. Let your voice carry the authority of personal commitment. Let your ears hear the strength of your own declaration. Let your mind receive the programming that will guide your day from a position of centered power rather than reactive uncertainty. Your declaration evolves as you grow. What serves you today may need adjustment tomorrow. The warrior's path requires constant refinement of both external strategy and internal programming. Stay alert to what your spirit needs and adjust your dawn practice accordingly. Add new challenges as you master current ones. Deepen your programming as your understanding grows. Some mornings your declaration will feel powerful and natural. Other mornings it will feel forced or empty. Speak it anyway. The power lies not in your feelings about the words, but in the consistent programming of your mind through repetition. Your subconscious responds to consistency, not emotion. This is your scroll, your declaration, your commitment to warrior excellence. Fill it with words that transform fear into power and confusion into clarity. Make it specific to your battles, personal to your growth, and powerful enough to program the warrior within you for victory in every arena where performance matters. The blank scroll awaits your unique inscription. What will you write? What warrior will you declare yourself to be? What strength will you speak into existence? What victory will you program before the battle even begins? Your dawn declaration becomes your daily foundation. Choose words that serve the warrior you are becoming, not just the person you have been. The eternal flame, lit from embers that have burned since my first dawn ritual, represents the unbroken chain of warriors who understand that victory begins in the quiet moments before the world wakes. You now carry this flame forward, adding your strength to a legacy that transcends time, culture, and circumstance. What I have shared with you is not merely personal technique or individual strategy, is timeless wisdom that has served warriors across centuries and cultures. The specific practices may vary, the languages may differ, the challenges may evolve, but the principle remains constant. Those who claim their mental territory at dawn claim victory in the battles that follow. You now possess what took me years of defeat and discovery to develop. The dawn ritual that transformed my military career from early failure to legendary success is yours to implement immediately. You hold in your hands the same mental weapons that served me in impossible battles, the same psychological fortifications that protected my mind in the darkest hours, the same victory programming that turned uncertain campaigns into triumphant conquests. But knowledge without application serves no warrior. These words carry power only when they become daily practice, when understanding transforms into action, when wisdom becomes habit. The strongest fortress provides no protection if its gates remain unbuilt. The sharpest sword serves no purpose if it remains undrawn. The most powerful strategy achieves nothing if it exists only in theory. The path forward is clear but not easy. You will wake some mornings feeling discouraged, distracted, or doubtful. Your mind will offer dozens of reasons to skip your dawn practice. You'll be tired from late nights, stressed about urgent problems, tempted by the immediate demands that seem more pressing than long-term mental preparation. This is when your warrior spirit faces its greatest test, not in public battles, but in private moments when no one is watching, and only your character determines your choice. Remember that every great warrior was once a beginner who chose to continue when continuation seemed pointless. Every legendary leader was once uncertain but decided to prepare anyway when preparation felt futile. Every person you admire for their strength and confidence once stood exactly where you stand now, holding principles that could transform their life if they chose to apply them consistently despite initial resistance. The dawn practice separates true warriors from mere admirers of warrior philosophy. Anyone can read about mental preparation, understand its principles, even feel inspired by its possibilities, but only those who rise each morning and speak strength into their spirit, regardless of how they feel, will experience the transformation. These ancient principles provide. I am part of an ancient lineage of warriors who understand that victory begins in silence. Strength is built in solitude, and power is programmed through daily practice. I carry forward timeless wisdom while facing contemporary challenges. I honor those who came before by applying what they discovered, and I serve those who come after by demonstrating what becomes possible when ancient wisdom meets modern commitment. Your dawn practice creates ripples that extend far beyond your personal life. Others will sense the strength you carry, the clarity you demonstrate, the confidence you embody. They will wonder what changed, what you discovered, what you did differently. Through your example, you become a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern application. Family members will notice your increased calm under pressure. Colleagues will observe your enhanced clarity in decision-making. Friends will sense your deeper confidence in challenging situations. They may not understand the source of your transformation, but they will recognize its reality and seek to learn from your example. Some will ask directly about your secret. Others will simply begin modeling your behavior, unconsciously adopting patterns they observe in your increased effectiveness. Either way, your commitment to dawn preparation becomes a gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone whose life you touch. The flame passes to you now with both privilege and responsibility. Tend it carefully through daily practice, but consistent practice that honors the tradition while adapting to your circumstances. Let it burn brightly through committed application that proves the power of these principles in modern life. Share its light through your example, demonstrating what becomes possible when contemporary warriors apply ancient wisdom to current challenges. The responsibility is not to be perfect, but to be persistent. Not to transform overnight, but to practice daily. Not to succeed immediately in every application, but to remain committed to the process. Despite temporary setbacks and initial challenges, add your strength to the eternal legacy of warriors who knew that conquest begins not with the first battle, but with the first dawn declaration of who you choose to become. Your voice now joins the chorus of warriors across history who understood that external victory flows from internal preparation. Every morning you have the opportunity to participate in this ancient tradition while facing modern challenges. Every dawn declaration connects you to the unbroken chain of those who chose preparation over procrastination, commitment over convenience, discipline over default patterns. Rise tomorrow with purpose that honors both your personal goals and this warrior legacy. Speak with power that draws from your individual strength and this timeless tradition. Move with confidence that serves both your immediate challenges and this eternal flame. The warrior's path awaits your footsteps. The dawn calls for your voice. The scroll waits for your unique declaration. The flame burns for your contribution to its light. Take up the mantle. Claim your mental territory. Speak strength into existence. Program victory before battle begins. Join the ranks of those who understand that the most important victories happen in silence. Before witnesses gather, where only character and commitment determine the outcome. The ancient wisdom is yours. The modern application is your choice. The timeless results await your decision. What will you declare at dawn? Who will you become through consistent practice? How will you add your strength to this eternal flame? The warrior's path begins with the next sunrise. Rise and claim your place among those who know that victory begins not with external battle, but with internal preparation in the quiet moments when the world still sleeps and only your spirit is awake.